Hello, I'm Nick Corner and welcome to your online training for Fireground contaminants and decontamination procedure. We have all at one point been exposed to contaminants on the Fireground through our normal day-to-day activity when dealing with a fire. Scientific studies over recent times have highlighted the potential impacts that these contaminants could have on our health. The training session will describe what contaminants are, how they could affect us, how we might be exposed to them, and also how we can now begin to reduce that exposure. So what are contaminants? It's a word used for a number of different substances or groups of substances that are toxic. For us, the contaminants we're discussing today are the harmful chemicals and fibres contained within soot, smoke and different materials used in premises for building and insulation. So what do we know? Well, we know that firefighters are at greater risk of developing cancer compared to the rest of the general population. We know that chemicals contained in fire effluent, such as polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons and asbestos, are linked to causing diseases such as cancer, as well as potentially being linked to heart disease and dementia. And through numerous scientific studies, like the one conducted by UCLan, we now know how these chemicals are entering the body. Through ingestion, inhalation, but more importantly, absorption through the skin. So over the next few slides, we will recap on contaminants, we'll show you the area of the body most at risk of absorption, and also how we're currently at risk of transferring those contaminants from the fireground back to the fire station and beyond. So thank you for your attendance, read on, and I'll speak to you in a little while. Hello, me again. So we know what contaminants are. We know how they enter the body, what impact they have, and how we are transferring them back from the fireground to the fire station. At this point, I just wanted to reiterate that this is about chronic exposure. This is low dosage over a number of years. In West Sussex, we are already at a slight advantage compared to other fire and rescue services, as we don't attend as many fires. However, that doesn't mean we should start to become complacent or think we are immune. Also, we will continue to be exposed to contaminants. The nature of our job means that we will get dirty. We will be covered in soot and products of combustion. But we need to ensure we can reduce that exposure. And if we do become contaminated, we don't stay contaminated. So how do we do it? Well, there are a number of different ways. Firefighting tactics. Do we always need to commit BA? Could we do it differently? Would the use of fog nails and smoke curtains reduce that exposure? But this isn't about stopping you from committing BA. If that's what's needed, we still have to deal with the incident appropriately. Incident ground actions. Attention needs to be paid to cleanliness when eating and drinking on the fireground. Welfare areas should be set up and away from the risk area. We need to slowly change our mindset as to wearing dirty PPE as a badge of honour. And to remedy that, crews will now have the ability to carry spare sets of PPE on the appliance in a dry bag. Clean cab. We need to ensure our appliance cabs remain a clean area, so no dirty PPE, kit or equipment should be in this space. Dirty PPE should be transported in sealed bags in lockers. Windows and doors should remain closed for the duration of the incident. If we need to enter the cab, this should be undertaken by personnel who are clean. And finally, decontamination procedure. As I said previously, we will become contaminated at an incident, but we need to ensure we don't remain contaminated. So, the decon procedure, explained in the next video, will be undertaken as a minimum by BA wearers every time BA is worn at an incident. This procedure will ensure that you are able to remove contaminants from yourself and the equipment you have been using. It will ensure we are able to significantly reduce the risk of transferring contaminants back onto the station. And will also give you the ability to remain on the run at an incident or come off the run if you are deemed too heavily contaminated or you don't have a second set of PPE available. As before, the next slide will recap on everything I've just spoken about, as well as demonstrating the decontamination procedure in a video. Speak to you soon. Don't worry, this is the last time you'll have to listen to me. As you can see, there's lots to think about when it comes to reducing your exposure to contaminants. We do appreciate that the decontamination procedure is detailed, but it needs to be, to ensure we can remove those contaminants from you and the equipment you're using. And it's specifically been designed in conjunction with the unions, health and safety, R&D, POD, and representatives from Response to ensure that it is as robust as we can make it. But we aren't stopping here. As has been described, there is work underway to look at the layout of our stations and consider how we store our dirty PPE, for instance. And there has been money allocated to do this. Moving forwards, with your feedback, this process will develop, improve, and will become easier to implement. You will begin to see items of equipment arriving on station, and this is going to include an aid memoir, Drager safety wash, spare helmet cradles, blank caps for the BA set, and dry bags for your spare PPE. Now, we do ask that when you receive these items, please store them in an appropriate place on the appliance. And now it's over to you. Please read the frequently asked questions for any initial queries, get out there and have a go. Use the aid memoir to support you. And we really need your feedback on this, so please provide this via your station managers so we can get this right. So that's it. Finally, I need to thank everybody that has contributed to us getting to where we are, the unions and the working party especially. And this is just the start. If there are any further questions that your line managers are unable to answer, please feel free to contact me at nicholas.horner@westsussex.gov.uk. And all that's left to say is stay safe and remember, come out dirty, go home clean. Thanks for watching.